to accept the lament that pervasive corruption is inevitable in a developing nation like Nepal are as often the result of cash payments as they are the recognition of qualification and merit. Promotions are bought and sold in a vicious cycle where those seeking to climb the career ladder sell their integrity to acquire the funds to purchase their next assignment. Those in positions of power too often set an example whose underlying message is that corruption will not only be tolerated, but it is the way that business is to be done. The 2011 Corruption Perception Index ranks Nepal as one of the most corrupt countries in the world and the second most corrupt country in anyone here in the audience today. But whether anyone is surprised or not, the ranking should be a wake-up call to both the government and the private sector. We all know that over the past several years, Nepal has witnessed scams, bribery, fraud, violation of conflict of interest rules, and bid rigging. The nation cannot hope to live up to its potential for economic growth unless such practices become a shocking exception to be punished rather than the norm. Reports from both national and international sources indicate that corruption exists at all levels, in the granting of permits, the procurement of goods and services, the award of contracts, and in some cases, in the court and dispute resolution system. Some of the most affected areas include customs, land revenue and property registration offices, transportation management, and the police force. The result is a business environment severely hobbled by the overwhelming lack of public confidence and an overall loss of trust. The country. Foreign investors, including those from the United States, find it difficult to navigate through the many bureaucratic obstacles and to cut through regulatory red tape. And corruption doesn't just constrain the business environment. It raised development costs, eroded the work ethos of the environment, the scope and quality of the legal professionalizing those institutions. Two issues are as critical to enhancing government services and improving the lives of Nepalis. I look forward to the day when the Nepal Electricity Authority, Nepal Airlines Corporation, Nepal Oil Corporation, and other enterprises are professionally run, financially solvent, and respected institutions. In that regard, let me touch for a moment on Nepal's civil service, which is an essential institution for the country's development. I, too, am a civil servant within my own government, and when I am in Washington, I am not an excellency, I am a bureaucrat. And I say that proudly, just as I know the Chief Secretary and others in Nepal's civil service do. Based on merit and the needs of the government, and not based on under-the-table payoffs, nepotism, political favoritism. This is even more true in fifth, the media. The media also plays a critical role in promoting transparency and fighting corruption, and should be encouraged to do so and protected when they and have taken on very powerful past and present senior officials to cover their corruption stories. I commend them for their courage. Everyone agrees that corruption is awful. It must end. All too often, however, when the topic comes up, people say, Kegarne, which gives you a great opportunity to change what has been to what should be. As you decide what your values are as a society, you can, and I hope you will, do more than just complain about corruption. You can act to root it out. We believe that collective action and ethical practices can create an environment of zero tolerance to corruption. You can refuse to pay bribes. You can vote against corrupt politicians. You can practice the highest ethical standards, and you can commit yourself to making a difference. It's up to you. In the past, the United States, through the Public Service Commission, strengthened the legal environment. Nepalese themselves must lead this effort. And when I say Nepalese, I mean all Nepalese. The government alone cannot stop corruption. The CIAA alone cannot stop corruption. It requires the engagement and commitment and leadership of citizens from all walks of life. The political leaders, civil society, journalists, young people, and very importantly, those in the business community. Until the business community stops merely complaining about corruption and starts confronting it, the problem will continue